Well, good morning all together. My name is Ercan KILIC. I'm head of Competence Center, e-commerce and payments at GS1. Well, we do have a challenge in the morning. We are a little bit out of time, running out of time, and I'm trying to do my best to speed a little bit up with my presentation. And the second challenge is we are talking about food safety today here. So the audience is, you all are experts in food safety, and may you ask yourself, what's about the topic of payments in this conference? Well, and the challenge is that I want to try to show you the link between eFood commerce and the payment, the current payment situation, not only in Germany but also worldwide. And I also will give you some insights concerning this, development. Well, let's start with skipping some slides about GS1. I think maybe this is boring. Do you know GS1? Who knows GS1? So some of you, that's very good. So I don't have to explain so much about our organization. We are present in more than 100 countries worldwide with our own member organizations in each of those countries. And the countries in Africa, for example, are served by the global office in Brussels and in New York from GS1. Well, you know the barcode. Everyone knows the barcode on product packaging. This is a standard. This standard is provided by GS1 globally. And just to give you some figures, we are active for more than 45 years, and more than 2 million companies are using our standards. I mean, these barcodes and those identification keys. And more than 100 million products use or have our product standards on their in their processes or even on their packaging. 5 billion barcodes are scanned daily at the till in the physical world, well, we do have our footprint in the food sector, but also in several other industries. This is our board of GS1 Germany. On the one hand, you can see all those major players when it comes to FMCG companies, consumer goods, and on the other hand, on the right side, you do have all those retailers from food, but also fashion and other companies. So, and there are also some service providers in our board to make sure that the supply chain, which is covered by manufacturers and also by retailers, is represented also by solution providers, which uses then or apply our GS1 standards in those different business processes. So this is a traditional supply chain, as you can see. Above you can see all those GS1 standards, which do have impact on these business processes, but I will go through it very, very quick. And yesterday we heard from Christian Wiegand from Amazon that he asked the audience, do we need barcodes anymore? Well, yes, maybe not barcodes, but you will need GTINs, the Global Trade Item Number, because in a completely digital world, we have to identify products by any sort of keys. So barcodes are just an optical, let's say technology, which is used to identify a product by scanning the barcode on the product packaging, right? But in the internet, in the web, you don't need a barcode, but you need an identification key. So don't worry about GS1. Well, as you can see here, we are also trying to, bring more benefits into the web or the e-commerce itself by, for example, giving this verified by GS1 service to the market. That means that, as you can see, a product is identified by different attributes, and then let's say, shared with all those business partners or stakeholders in this special value chain. We're trying to also support manufacturers by doing their business in the e-commerce world, and they just have to upload or describe their product on this platform, and then let's say send it to every retailer where the product is offered to consumers. Well, that's it. Now we are starting to go to the omnichannel world, and I want to share some insights with you about the current business models which are existing there. So we started with with a single channel with a POS. That means a store, physical store. Then it changed to multi-channel, cross-channel, you name it, and then we are in the omni-channel world. But that's not the whole story, because some of those e-commerce players are, making their business now on mobile. So, and there are some players out there which are only, let's say, existing on the mobile channel. So they are mobile-only companies selling goods to consumers. And all of you, we all have those smartphones in our, pockets, and we are using them very intensively. Social media and news, pictures, emails, all those kind of things. So the traffic on this, on this channel is amazing. So, and that means, of course, money follows eyeballs. That means retailers have to make sure to be present on those channels, or on this special channel mobile. And this is a big picture about retailers which are active in omnichannel business. That means on the left side, you do have your target groups. So you have to make sure that they are coming to your websites, for example, or to your stores. Then you do have those different marketing, let's say, tools and instruments, starting with SEA, that means search engine optimization, or search engine advertising, display advertising, as well as TV, print, all those kind of things, and also voice, for voice commerce, smart speakers, just to say here, in one point. So then you do have those users on your web page, and this is your online shop in the middle. So you have to make sure that your online shop really is available for all those different devices which are in the market. Then you do have this back-end system. Above you do have this, you have your POS. Then you have to make sure that your products are sold also on different marketplaces like eBay, Amazon, Rakuten, and you name it. And then you have to make sure that the content on your platform is really state-of-the-art. And so much different, issues you do have to run this business in this omnichannel world. And so there are some challenges for retailers, big retailers like Rewe, for example, when it comes to FMCG and groceries, and they are all issues where, for example, GS1 also supports those companies. But we're now focusing on payment, which is also a bubble on this slide, as you can see here. Well, I don't want to make payment experts with the audience today, but let me just go through one or two levels of this topic, and I'm trying to avoid technical slides. So let's try to make it very easy for the audience. So we started with payments or currency started with coins, right? Let's say a couple of years ago. Then in the 1950s, we started to pay with cards, so without cash, right? Today, we are talking about mobile payment on smartphones. Who's using a payment method on his smartphone? So, of course, there are some of you here in the audience, which is very good. Then you will understand a little bit, you will understand the approach which I'm showing you then later. And the next step will be cryptocurrencies. Who of you knows Libra? Calibre, Libra. 2, 3 persons, right? So mobile payment was yesterday. It's boring. Really, today we are talking about cryptocurrencies. That means Facebook will start in the first or second quarter next year with an own currency based on mobile. It's a kind of a Bitcoin, right? Which is, let's say, issued by Facebook and with several other partners. I think it's about 27 partners like MasterCard, Visa, all those, you know them. And they are trying to, build this new kind of infrastructure based on blockchain technology, whatever. So we will come to this later. Well, in Germany, for example, we are a traditional cash country. We are using cash with passion, right? But this changes nowadays, really, because first time we do have only 48% of cash used by consumers or customers, and it's about 50-50. That means card-based payments versus cash payments, but this will have a dynamic impact on how people will pay also next couple of months and years. So the question is, we do have this POS world when it comes to cash and payments at POS, but we also have this online world where other payment methods have their place. And this is also a huge challenge for retailers to make sure that they are able to accept all those different payment methods in the physical and also in the online world. But trying to make it easy. So the requirements for a payment method at a physical POS are quite simple. It's nothing else than exchanging really goods and money, of course. But the payment method has to be fast, easy, secure, and for free even, maybe, right? These are the requirements for POS payments. And the same requirements are also important for the online world, with one exemption. As you can see, the steps are going to a website or an online shop, choose your product or your article, bring it to or collect it in your basket, and then go to the checkout process, right? And if you are using let's say, if the checkout process is fragmented, then you may have, or you lose 39% of your purchases. So the conversion rate is very close to the checkout process. And that's very critical for e-commerce retailers. So they have to make sure that they use payment methods which are frictionless, right? So that's the main difference. But we also see that there's a convergence of those payment methods coming from the physical world with cash, going to the online world with card-based payments, then with smartphones and those kind of things. And they all really converge to the smartphone and are now used for the physical world, but also for the online world. I will come with some examples later. Well, what does mobile payment mean today? How does it, you all of you do have those credit cards or debit cards in your pockets, and it's just digitizing those payment cards and to bring it on the smartphone. It's easy as this, right? But the point is, I do have a physical card from Deutsche Bank, MasterCard, but I also have a digital MasterCard from Deutsche Bank on my iPhone, Apple. So for banks, that means they have to provide the physical card. That means, for example, 10 or 20 euros to make sure that Mr. KILIC has a MasterCard, physical card in his pocket. And then Mr. KILIC is a digital native and wants to use this payment card also on his smartphone, right? And therefore, the banks have to make sure that this card is also issued on a digital way, and that means they have to invest in infrastructure or invest in a platform provider which are helping them, supporting them to bring these cards into the smartphone. So that means double costs for the bank for the same customer, without having the guarantee that Mr. KILIC goes and will purchase more than he's doing today. Well, and this is the situation in Germany. You have on the left side, it's not easy, but it's not so much complicated. But you look on the left side, you do have these Android phones. That means Google phones, for example, or Google Pay phones. Then you do have the iOS phones with Apple Pay. And then between of them, there are some players in Germany which are not very big. You know, their solution is not based on contactless payments or NFC. It's based on these optical barcodes which are used in their solutions. So going to the right side, you do have the wallet providers like Google Pay, but also some German banks which are providing a wallet where you then have your digital payment card in it. And then you do have, for example, Apple Pay with its partners, banks, which are issuing digital cards in their wallets. So in all those different, let's say, players coming to the POS or the e-commerce shop of the retailer. And the retailer have to make sure that they accept all those different payment, let's say, solutions, but also different cards which are provided by those players. And the important point here is, in this picture you see Google Pay as a platform and Apple Pay with different market shares, 80% to 20%. And today some of those banks which are partnering with Google Pay aren't present in the iOS ecosystem. Why? Because Apple wants to have an, let's say, revenue share with the banks by approaching approximately 0.15% of these transactions. This is different than the business model of Google Pay. They're doing it for free. So banks don't have to pay anything to be part of this Google Pay. But I will come to this later. Starbucks Pay. Starbucks is the biggest mobile payment solution in the US market. It is started very early by providing not only payment services, but also, for example, coupons and loyalty and all those services. That means value-added services to their customers. And this is a slide which is, I think, from 2016 that Starbucks have more consumer cash than many financial institutions in billions. So the business model of Starbucks is a little bit changing, right? But they are very successful. As you can see, Starbucks really is the #1 in the US market. Then, of course, Apple Pay, Google Pay, and the other ones. Now coming to the, trying to combine payment with the e-commerce business conversion. Well, if you're talking to manufacturers or brand owners, they are asking always, they want to know what a campaign really brings results to their business. And measurability is really one of the key points which is very important for brand owners, retailers, but also for manufacturers. And it's not easy to really answer this question after a campaign, advertising campaign. Well, very easy. The online conversion is very transparent. You are putting your ad on the website. Users are clicking on advertising, banners, whatever, and then they are led to the online shop where they can make their purchase. So the conversion is one-to-one measurable. So put an advertising in the web, and then you will see if it works or not by having those transactions successfully in your online shop. But offline, sorry, this has to be offline. The question is putting an online ad into the world, and the question is, what is the conversion in the physical world? That means brick and mortar. So Mr. KILIC sees a banner on a website, clicks on it, sees the advertising, the campaign, and brand owners, manufacturers are hoping that Mr. KILIC goes to the next Rewe store and buys this product. So there's a gap between online and offline. And we are trying to solve this together with all stakeholders. That means with the digital giants, really, but also with the retailers. And we are trying to measure the conversion between online and offline. So that's the case. So you see an advertising on a website, on your smartphone, KitKat, just an example. You click on it and you go to the landing page, and then it's just hope and wait that the consumer goes to the store and buys the right product, right? So there's a gap between this instead of the online world. And how could we close this gap or closing the loop, really? It's the same. There's an advertising ad on the website or on mobile. You click on it or you tap on it. You're going to the landing page. And then we're trying to measure how many people are going to the next store and buy the product by measuring the store visits, the visit frequency, the visit duration, and the transactions. So this is very important for manufacturers, for brand owners, because they are saying, well, I will put $1 million US or euros into an advertising campaign, and I want to have a sales uplift with, let's say, 2 million. So, and that's really the approach here. So this would be the solution which will come into place. So here are some partners where we're trying to bring more insights into the market and share this with our community, and that's really the approach. Having those campaigns which are also targeted on a location-based way, then put people to the landing page and then to the store. So it's very easy. Targeting on a location-based approach. All the big manufacturers, brand owners, and retailers are using this solution today. They're using Google tools, analytics, all those kind of things. They're also using Facebook. We will hear tomorrow from Claudia a little bit more about the services of Facebook. Google and Facebook alone have more than 70% market share in Germany when it comes to digital advertising. Just to give you a figure. So the same, of course, also for fashion brands, and these are some campaign examples. So as a print version of a campaign, from a flyer, for example, you see the product, the price, and And you also have this local relevance of this ad, and you are directed to the next store. Also for FMCG, as you can see here, the same. The ads bring consumer to the right store of the retailer. Well, and these are some also some examples how, for example, Rewe uses Facebook, of course, getting their consumers, activating their target groups to use the Rewe online shop, mobile shop. Retail media. So buying traffic from Google and Facebook is one thing. The other thing is how to collect this traffic and to put this traffic on their own shops, e-commerce shops. And that's the way how Rewe, for example, works. They are buying targeted campaigns by Facebook and Google, bring people to their stores, whether it's POS, it's online, or it's mobile, and then, of course, make their transactions. That means selling goods. And on the other hand, they are trying to sell their media reach to brand owners and bring this into their flyers. So that means collecting digital traffic, bringing them to the own online shop, and then building this own media reach and selling it to the brand owners. That's the whole circle, right? So what does what is the impact on this model with mobile wallets? So we are I told you about the current situation concerning Google Pay in Germany. So you can use the Google Pay, the Google Wallet, for example, of course, for payments, but not only POS, also web, couponing, loyalty, gift cards, ticketing, different other services. Very good. The same for Apple Pay. Payment, couponing, loyalty, gift cards, ticketing, all those things. Very easy, very seamless, perfect. Right? It works for the POS, it works for online. And now the benefit for the retailers, it's curse and blessing at the same time, is that people don't have to leave their online shop by making a purchase. They're just staying in this, let's say, retailer's world and making their purchase with one of these wallets online. So it's very easy, without any friction, without any hurdles at the checkout process. And the point is, when it comes to the business model, again, Google tries to make it very simple for the retailer, for the consumer, buying goods on the websites of the retailer. So that's really, let's say, their business approach. Apple Pay offers this Apple Pay platform to banks by getting money for this, as I said before, 0.15% of each transaction. But a couple of weeks ago, there was also a press release from Goldman Sachs and from Apple. Apple now tries also to issue, not tries, they are issuing own credit cards. That means they are going deeper into the ecosystem of the banks. So together with Goldman Sachs, Marcus is a fintech. It's a subsidiary of Goldman Sachs. They are now providing financial services to the market, for example, starting with an Apple Card. So they are also now going into the business of the banks. But now coming back to the retailers, it's a curse and blessing. But I can show you now what really the benefit is for retailers using those wallets or having them in their shops. This is an example of Hugo Boss. You can get a price off on your smartphone, very easy, with Apple Pay. And this is how it works in the online world. So the brand owner or the manufacturer could send an offer via email, for example, in a newsletter, to his customers. Everything is targeted, very good. It starts, you receive as a consumer or a customer, you receive this newsletter, this email. You click on this email, very easy. There are, a new collection of Hugo Boss. It's available. You can choose one of those, products, jackets, or whatever. This one. And then you go to the checkout. And as you can see here, there's an Apple Pay button. Very easy. You just have to click on that or tap on that, and it's done. Very easy. More than 20% uplift conversion by Hugo Boss just by implementing Apple Pay in their online store. And that's what I said with curse and blessing. So they're making it very easy for retailers to use their tools because they are, the benefit is they're getting more revenue with their customers. Very easy, right? Well, and the same, the same service is also provided by Google. So they are the same way, on the same way. Where it's just really, it's impulse and it's transaction without any friction. And that's really the success factor. But also for the POS, you can send coupons into the Apple Wallet and then lead people to buy the goods at the physical POS. But there are also some challenges, or there's danger for retailers. Why? Because Apple and Google will know a lot more about the customer of the retailer. And for example, a family with 3 kids, they're doing their weekly shopping for, 100, 200 euros. And they are today going to make their purchase at Rewe. It's one of the biggest supermarkets in Germany. And those big tags do have the power to have impact where people will buy their goods. So if Edeka pays more for this target group, for this family, for example, for this profile, then it gets the traffic from Rewe to Edeka, and the same the other way around. That means also for fashion, for example, Ralph Lauren and Tommy Hilfiger. So the power really to have impact on the purchase habits of the consumers. So brand switching is a very, is the approach. And then also today, retailers trying to avoid to send the information they have from their consumer on a checkout basis, for example, the POS, till the information what consumers have bought at the physical POS. And once those big players do have access to this information, of course, they will use it to bring more targeted campaigns and advertising to those profiles, and also have impact on how to switch consumers from one retailer to another, from one brand owner, manufacturer to another. And that's really the point. Well, conversational commerce, I will close up just as you started, as said before, starting with voice and ending with voice, yes. Smart speakers, conversational commerce, just 3 or 4 slides for you, are underlining this business approach of those big techs. You can tell voice commerce, conversational commerce, digital assistants. We heard yesterday the age of digital assistants, all those very easy, very nice, very, perfect. And also Amazon is providing all those channels to the consumers to support them, to help them to make more, frictionless payments or purchases. But the issue or the problem and the challenge is, on a website you can show 10, 15 products on a desktop shop, for example, web page on a desktop. Shown on a mobile landing page, it's about 3, 4, 5 products you can show on this small screen. And if people are using smart speakers, maybe there are 1 or 2 products suggested by the system. Because you want to have a list or listen to a list with, 100 different products. It's just having, I want to have chocolate. Is it Nestle Kit Kat or is it Ferrero Rocher, for example? Well, and that's it. I don't want to hear listen the whole list of the category of a retailer. And that's a challenge for the retailers, how to position themselves in this business model. Smart speakers, and then the question is, 1 or 2 brands are, maybe will buy their voice ad space on those smart speakers. This will be the business model, and there will be a bidding system. If brand A pays more than brand B, you know it from search engine optimization, search engine advertising. It's nothing new. Ranking of those brand owners. But the problem here is, yesterday Amazon talked about private labels. Talk with people or with retailers which are selling their products on different marketplaces, and if they have a product which is very which is sold very, very well, very good, bring more traffic and revenue, then of course marketplaces like Amazon trying to be part of this success by having an own private label with the same product, for example, or the same category. Well, and the question really is how to position yourself as a retailer in this new ecosystems. Well, these are some strategic implications for the retailers. They are the viewability is very, very strongly reduced. It's really the winner takes it all approach. You do need strong partners, and well, it's not ending up here. So the challenges for retailers in the e-commerce sector are enormous. So thank you for having me here and to have the chance to give you some insights to the e-commerce business by having a focus view on mobile payments or payments. And yes, thank you very much.